Serge Aurier linked with the move to Arsenal in there, and Granit Xhaka tests positive for the so-called COVID-19 in there. Welcome to the football news, top 10s and lifestyle zone. Guys, how are you and where are you watching it from? Because this is your channel where you're really going to be served in there on everything that really concerns the game of football in there. Now today we jet off with a story of Granit Xhaka. Remember, Granit Xhaka is going to be away for 3 games of a team which goes by the names of Arsenal. In there, remember, he got a red card, straight red card in the game of Man City in there. That means that in the 3 games that are really going to decide the future of a man who goes by the name of Mikel Arteta at Arsenal, he is not involved, or he's not going to be involved in there. And then what he did was to go to his team, which was Switzerland in there. Remember, he's the captain of Switzerland, and after playing a game, the first World Cup qualifier, he really tested positive for COVID-19. And news has come in all over that he's the only Arsenal player that really said no to receiving the first jab of the vaccine of COVID-19 in there. Something that people have really seen him as a reckless player, as a selfish player who does not really care about others. If at all the entire team of Arsenal really came through and said that we are really going to take the jab, who is Granit Xhaka not to take it? And now he's facing the effects of really facing, or he's facing the effects of not really taking the jab in there. Talking of not taking the jab in there, the country where I come from, that is Uganda, people are really negative and are biased over the so-called vaccine after the State House really came out and really issued out some vaccines that were really vaccinated. Yes, in that so-called period that were led to very many people dying, costing people's lives in there. So people in Uganda don't really want to get the jabs, but the fountain of honor, who goes by names of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, really came out and said that if at all schools are to resume, all students have to be vaccinated, and the teachers in there. So the process is on. Teachers are getting vaccinated in there. So Granit Xhaka, please, it's high time you got vaccinated, because if at all you don't get vaccinated, we are into a COVID-19 era. And the good thing is that if at all you get vaccinated, that does not mean that you're not really going to get COVID-19. But when you get it, it does not really hurt you or damage your lungs and inner you as it would have if at all you are not vaccinated. So that is the first story I had here on the football news, top 10 and lifestyle zone. Granit Xhaka test positive for COVID-19, and that means this won't affect Arsenal because he was already out of the plans of the manager until the 3 games are done. Remember, Arsenal are playing Norwich, Burnley and Tottenham Hotspur in their next games in there. So Granit Xhaka is out and he won't be training. The only effect is that he really needs some time to recover in there, because COVID really affects the lungs in there, and the doctors really advise a person who has just recovered from COVID-19 to really take some time, not work as they've been working, not talk as they used to talk. Because I have one of the pastors I know, when he really got COVID-19, they told him that please stop standing in church and talking for long hours. If at all you've been holding like 2 masses a day, like for 3 days, just get off the 2 days and get that 1 day to really come up in church. So COVID has a very real serious effect onto a person like anyone. Now when it comes to a player like Granit Xhaka, who runs onto the pitch and uses his energy, and it's all about, it comes from the chest, the lungs in there, and you've seen very many players collapse on the pitch because of the lungs and the heart in there. So Granit Xhaka is out for some good time, close to some 2 weeks in there. He is not going to be playing for Arsenal, even if the 3 red cards, because when you look at those 3 games, Arsenal will play a Premier League game, they'll play a Carabao Cup game, and they play, I think, yes, so in just 1 week's time, Arsenal would have played 3 games. You get? After that, Arsenal will come through and play more games. That means Granit Xhaka is going to be out for like 2 weeks in there, because he needs a very serious recovery to come back to a team which goes by names of Arsenal. Now, after a man who goes by names of Granit Xhaka, let's go to a man who goes by names of Serge Aurier, the Ivorian in there, who has been playing for Tottenham Hotspur. He terminated his contract with a team which goes by names of Tottenham Hotspur, and he's now a free agent in there. And now everyone is going to ask me, how come a man who goes by Serge Aurier is linked to Arsenal, yet the transfer window is closed in there now? concerning the transfer window, if at all you are a free agent, you can join in any team you feel like you want at any time. That's it. So Serge Aurier can join in any team he feels like he wants because he's a free agent. He terminated his contract at Tottenham Hotspur because the manager who came in looked like he's not the best player. Because if at all he was really one of the competitors at Spurs, they wouldn't have gone into Barcelona to sign a man who goes by the names of Emerson Royal in there. They brought him on the deadline day in there and they unveiled him as a Spurs player. And there is Doherty in there whom they bought from a team which goes by names of Wolves. And remember, by the time they bought that right back from Wolves, Nuno Espirito was the manager of a team which goes by names of Wolves. That shows you that he really believes into this lad and he feels like Serge Aurier should go away. Even Tanganga in there, who was introduced to the Tottenham team by Jose Mourinho in there, Tanganga is really trying to pull up and get in and compete. This season, he's had a very beautiful season in there. The 3 games that Tottenham Hotspur has played, he has featured in all of them and has been playing very, very well. So when you look at the 3 right backs that Spurs are really having, there is no way Serge Aurier could really break through. And so he really told the board that, can we terminate this contract and I look for somewhere else to go in there. Now, the reason as to why people are linking him to Arsenal are very many. One of them is that he doesn't want to leave London and he doesn't want to leave England. He wants to be playing in the Premier League. That is Serge Aurier for you. And that's why they say that the only team that can get him is Arsenal in there, because during Toulouse, during his stay at Toulouse in there before he went to PSG in there, Serge Aurier was seen donned into an Arsenal shirt and he really came out openly and really expressed his adoration to play for a team which goes by names of Arsenal. That is Serge Aurier for you in there. Now he's being linked to Arsenal because of that he's a fan of Arsenal in there. Why is he a fan of Arsenal? He comes from Ivory Coast, and Ivory Coast has had an Ivorian who goes by names of Coty play there for a very long time at Arsenal, and you know the influence that a player from a certain country brings when he really plays for a certain club for a very long time and is one of the strong pillars, because Coty was a striker. He came in as a striker at Arsenal, but he ended up playing the central defense with Sol Campbell in there and Senderos at a team which goes by names of Arsenal in there. So Ivorians really love Arsenal a lot. There came in Javinho in there. So I think Serge Aurier, that's where he really developed his love for a team which goes by names of Arsenal in there. Now, he came in at Tottenham Hotspur in 2017 and has played for them for the last 4 years in there, and now he is no longer a Spurs player. He's a free agent in there and is expected to come to the team which goes by the names of Arsenal. But this really raises questions. Will Arsenal really accept him to come through? Because they already signed in a right back who goes by names of Takehiro Tomiyasu in there from a team which goes by names of Bologna, and they paid close to £20 million for the lad. So I don't think that they are really going to allow themselves to come through and really go ahead and accept Serge Aurier. Although Serge Aurier is a free agent, this has been communicated by Sky Sports in there. That's where I've got this story of Serge Aurier wanting to join. All Arsenal might pick interest in Serge Aurier to play for them. You never know, a role in there, because Arteta looks like he's going to change his system to a back 3 in there. That's another story that we are really coming in here to do the needful. When you look at Arsenal in there, we look at Arsenal, they're having right backs, the new one, Takehiro Tomiyasu. They're having Cedric Soares, and they're having a man who goes by the names of Callum Chambers. But when I look at Callum Chambers and Cedric Soares, I think Serge Aurier is better than them all. I think the best person he can compete with is Takehiro Tomiyasu, the new Japanese signing from Serie A side Bologna in there. I think that's the only person that's going to compete with him, because Serge Aurier brings a lot at Arsenal that Arsenal lacks. Defensively, he's good, and going forward, he's good. And by the way, people will say that how can Arsenal really get in a defender who has been thrown out or who has failed to really penetrate through the first team of a team which goes by Tottenham Hotspur? He has not really failed through because of not having the potential. He has the potential, but the manager really has some players he fancies. By the way, we've seen these things a lot. Look at Arsenal. Guendouzi coming in at Arsenal, Arteta says, I'm not going to play you in my team. He goes to Marseille, plays very well. He really gets even his call up at the French national team in there, and he's playing very, very. Look at William Saliba. He's playing very well at Marseille in there, and I think it would be very good. He could be very beneficial to a team which goes by the names of Arsenal. But because the manager does not really like them, that's why they're out of the team. So Serge Aurier is a very good player, and I think he's good. He's a very good right back in there. But I think the problem he's serving is the manager doesn't really fancy him as a player that he wants to be at his team, by the way. Even the style of play of the manager, he might not be fitting the style of play of the manager, like Doherty and Tanganga plus Emerson Royal. So I think the manager really looks like this is the best signing he has brought in. Emerson Royal and Doherty are really going to compete for that place. But I think if at all Serge Aurier signs for a team which goes by names of Arsenal, I think he's really going to give them a chase for their money, especially a chase for their positions, especially Calm Chambers and Cedric Soares, because I feel like Serge Aurier is far much a better player than all of those. So those are the two stories we had. One of Granit Xhaka testing positive for COVID-19 after denying to take the first jab of the vaccine. Yet all the Arsenal players really accepted the jab in there, and Serge Aurier being linked to a move to a team which goes by names of Arsenal in there. Smash a like on the video, comment and share. Go ahead to subscribe to our channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. My name is Rokani David, aka RD, onto the football news, top 10s and lifestyle zone. I feel like I've exhausted all these stories, so I'm waiting for your opinions in the comment section below. Go down there, tell me what you think about Serge Aurier being linked to a move to a team which goes by names of Arsenal in there. Arsenal fans, do you think it's really the solution to your problems you're having at Arsenal, especially in the right back? Remember that game of Man City, you saw how Jack Grealish slaughtered your two right backs, Cedric Soares and a man who goes by the names of Calm Chambers. You remember very well what happened at the Etihad in there. Serge Aurier linked to Arsenal. Let's wait and see whether it's really going to happen. I'm Rokani David. I sign out for now. See you later.